Firstly, I agree with you. The climate crisis is the sort of #1 priority.
Then why do you think that people like me deserve to go to prison? You said that the UK government should use a UK-wide injunction on protesters.
I don't know whether you saw what we were saying at conference about climate crisis, about the need to take action now. That action's got to be taken in the next 10 years.
And the campaigner in that video is Lauren MacDonald, and she can join us now. Hello to you. Why are you so angry at Keir Starmer?
I'm so frustrated by a lack of climate action across the government. I'm frustrated at Keir Starmer because I think as the leader of the opposition, he should be actually opposing the leader when it comes to crackdown on our human rights. But just on a general level, I'm so deeply concerned, frustrated and scared by the lack of action across the UK government. I don't feel that my future is being safeguarded, and I'm genuinely worried for my future.
Right,
because
OK, but is it justifiable to take action to blockade oil refineries?
Absolutely everyone must be taking climate action right now. I'm not here to comment on specific tactics, but what I will say is that people are rising up in large numbers across the UK now to call for climate action. You know, when I was on my way to the studio today, in fact, I bumped into an uncle, as it says on his sign, who is on day 37 of a hunger strike to try and get the government to take action. People across society are taking action in a myriad of ways, but the question that we should be asking is, why is that not being matched in the government? Why is Boris Johnson and his government still trying to push forward all these new oil and gas fields?
Absolutely,
we've been told that we can't, by the International Energy Agency, that
sure,
if we are to have any shot at a livable future,
you're
we
talking
cannot
about the
have any
government,
new oil and gas fields.
But your anger was directed very much at the Labour leader, and Labour have promised to spend £28 billion a year tackling climate change. That's a pretty bold commitment.
It absolutely is, but the Labour Party is not currently in power. They don't have the power to spend that money. But what Keir Starmer does have the power to do is to stand up for protesters, to stand up for people who are scared of the future, in the same way that that is a responsibility of everyone in the government. And it's not just Keir Starmer that I'm frustrated at. I'm extremely frustrated at the Conservative Party, who are trying to push through oil and gas fields, which is just a complete disregard for my future and my safety.
Let me put that to...
So, we don't want to change the law to just say, well, let's ban all protests, which is what Tom would like to do.
In jail.
What we would like to do is to have injunctions. An injunction means that you are told you cannot go to that site.
It is a lot easier for police to arrest people.
You might get a fine, you might be arrested, you might be fined. You only will be put in prison if... But you have to get that balance right. And of course, Lauren wants to make her point. Of course she does. There's nothing more important than climate change. But we have to balance that with people's rights to go about their business. So in this case, we needed those injunctions, which the government failed to do, to make sure people weren't disrupted to the extent that they were.
Would you accept that, Lauren?
Absolutely not. I mean, saying, like, I don't have a right to take action, then why does the UK government have a right to completely destroy my future? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, these people, whether we agree with the tactics or not, I think something that we can agree on is that we all want a safe and livable future. These people who are taking these actions are just trying their best. Unfortunately, as climate activists, we have to throw things at the wall and see what sticks. We're trying to stand up for our own future because nobody is doing it for us. And I think what we really need to be focusing on is the lack of action in the UK government, not turning against people like me who are trying to make the world a better place.
In terms of taking tough action, are injunctions the right way to go in terms of stopping people blocking and stopping people getting petrol to lead their lives?
No, I mean, I think a peaceful protests are a cornerstone of all democracies, and we shouldn't be using the court to stop that. I think that leads us into quite dangerous territory. But, you know, and I think what Lauren said there is really important in the sense that actually those protesters don't really want to be taking this kind of action. They don't really want to be disrupting people. But they're acting out of sheer desperation because the government has had multiple chances to act and it hasn't.